I've come to a strange revelation as of late, and I'd like to share it with you if I may. Don't argue with people on social media. There's so much going on, so many things to argue about that it's almost like people enjoy it. Um, there's a girl on YouTube, and her handle is Hey It's Twig. She's some 20 something year old girl, and she says she's a dominatrix or something for MAGA men, and that's not why I'm telling you. What I'm telling you about her is she said some really smart stuff. She said that the MAGA guys that get in touch with her and pay her, they pay her to talk mean to them, not dirty, not nothing like that. They pay her to put them down, to say rude, horrible stuff because it gets them off. So when you're on Facebook, Instagram, uh, TikTok, whatever, and you start telling these Trump supporters and that's not the libs, it's the Trump supporters, she says. And by the way, she's hilarious too. If you get hey, it's Twig, check her out. If you argue with these people, it's what they want. I've been taking people off my Facebook for months now. And I just took a guy off there recently that's been on my Facebook since 2013. And he just posts this incendiary stuff every day. And I'm like, why would he do this? Even if he 100% doesn't believe what's going on with Trump, even if he doesn't believe that he had something to do with girls disappearing and raping and all that, even if he doesn't believe that, why would he want to argue with people? I don't want to argue with people. And I figured it out. I absolutely figured out why these MAGA people post that stuff and argue with you. Because they don't care what Trump has done. They don't care that he's got 34 felonies. They don't care that he raped young girls and did unspeakable, horrible things because he thought he was entitled to it. They just don't care. They just want him to own the libs. It was like a epiphany or a revelation when I thought this. I was like, wow, how could they not care about this stuff? They don't. They just want to argue with you, make you upset, make you scream up and down. Oh, Obama's wife is a man. The election was stolen. It's just stuff that they know is bullshit. And they just want you to argue. It literally, I don't know if it's sexual with all of them. Hey, it's Twig says it is. But it just seems to me that the MAGA crowd is the most depraved human beings ever. And here's the thing I've noticed. I did a lot of videos on Andrew Cross, his death. It was pretty stressful on me because all I could think of was my wife going through that. And I learned something posting those videos. Once in a while, when I would get someone who would be rude or push back or just because the comment section on YouTube can be just a sewer, but I try to read all the messages and try to reply to them and talk to people because I'm nobody. I realized something: the people that talk good about Ragnar Nicholas Crystal, the guy who killed Andrew Cross on purpose and only got 8 years in prison for it, they are all drunk drivers, alcoholics, no good nicks. Every single one of them has done the same thing. They haven't killed people, but they have done the same thing. And that's what's going on with Trump. If you cheat on your wife, he's your man. If you don't pay taxes and you steal stuff from people beneath you and you don't pay your help and you don't pay your contractors, he's your man. If you like young girls, is that just what turns you on? Young girls, he's your man. You know what I mean? The 31% of the country, it seems like 100%, but the 31% of the country that's on Trump's stuff, that's on, I want to say something dirty there, that's on Trump's ass, the majority of them are bad people. I mean, look at it like this. You're arguing with someone who you know in real life, they wouldn't be friends with someone who screwed around their wife. If your wife and your families are friends, they wouldn't be friends with that. They wouldn't be, most of the people I know, I was in business for myself for 24 years doing construction, and I'm still in business for myself doing stand-up and home improvements, for my friends. Would you be friends with someone who didn't pay those people? I mean, would you be friends with someone who hired someone to come do their driveway and they just didn't pay them? How about erecting a building for millions of dollars and not paying it? Would you be friends with someone like that? Would you be friends with someone who the talk is that he molested children? I grew up in New Bern, North Carolina, and there was a guy there. There was an Italian guy there. I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Russ. And everyone in town said that he molested his children and his stepchildren. Now, I never knew if this was true or not. I didn't know the guy, but I heard from some people that he did do this, and you know what? He was shunned. He was damn near run out of town. And you would elect someone like that? Not you personally, but people would elect that guy to run our country. The election wasn't stolen. He just took all the ballots from Georgia where they sued him and found out that the election wasn't stolen. He's going to say it was stolen, and he's going to run for another term. So what I'm getting to here is don't argue. Shut them down, man. If someone posts on there, Trump's the man, while you're thinking about, would you let you should have your daughter go work for him, right? Would you do that? No, you wouldn't do that. So while you're thinking that, if you really want to get these people back, if you really want to compete with their torture, their rhetoric that's just incendiary, don't respond. It's hard for me because I've been a fighter all my life. I've been that kind of guy. I stand up for myself. Even when I get my ass kicked, I still stand up for myself. And I try to be always an honest guy and pay for my whatever I've done wrong. I try to own up to it. I've done it all my life. That's why I'm sober. That's why I'm divorced a few times. And that's why I'm married to a good woman now, because I saw my mistakes and I called them out. You just have to after a while. That's not what Trump's about. He's about hollering the loudest that it's all unfair. Everybody treats him so unfairly. He has been treated so unfairly for 40 years. People have been lying about. He is a perfect gentleman and would never do all the things that he's accused of doing. Do you think that? Usually what you hear about people is true. Do you really think that? I want you to win in this, whatever it is that we're in. Fight for our lives. Don't respond. Just don't respond to them on Facebook. They get off on it. Even if you say, you suck, I'm not going to argue with you, they still win. So I think it's time for us to start winning again. Don't respond. I'll be here when you need me.